gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
Many years ago, President Calvin Coolidge said, "The nation that forgets those who fought for it, its defenders, its veterans, will soon itself be forgotten."
Mr. Tomochika Uyama to open our remarks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tomochika Uyama, Consul General of Japan in San Francisco. On behalf of the people and government of Japan, I hereby offer, with profound respect, our eternal condolences to the souls who lost their lives in the battlefields, as well as to the souls of countless innocent people who became victims of the war. On behalf of the people of Japan, I hereby express my heartfelt gratitude to the United States for the generosity and friendship extended to Japan. And also, I'd like to conclude my remarks by humbly remembering those who lost their lives in the war with renewed determination to work together for global peace for future generations. Thank you very much for this opportunity to address to all of you here today. Thank you.
To introduce this award and the individual, I'm going to introduce you to a Marine's Marine, Sergeant Don Reed. If you'd please come up to introduce our annual award.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is indeed an honor to have the opportunity to introduce a close friend of mine, a man who I admire much, who really reflects the spirit of the city of San Francisco. A gentleman who was born and raised in the city, played in the streets of the city of San Francisco. Gracious Mayor Frank George.
Well, thank you very much, Don, for this wonderful honor, which I certainly did not expect and not even sure I deserve. I'm here today with all of you for a very, very important reason, as you know. We want to honor, reflect, remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifices for their country. It's really fitting that we assemble at the site of the USS San Francisco Navy Heavy Cruiser Memorial. Their epic accomplishments during World War II is what I call the stuff of legend. In a raging battle off the Guadalcanal and in Solomon Islands, their ship was hit more than 40 times by heavy shells, as well as a direct hit by an enemy torpedo bomber that crashed into the anti-aircraft gun platform, and it killed a number of the sailors who were firing back at it while it was coming right head on into them. 85 sailors were killed, 105 wounded. Somehow they managed to keep their ship afloat while sinking 3 enemy warships during that battle. Their gallant crew earned 4 medals of honor, the same ship, 32 Navy Crosses, 21 Silver Stars, and 1 Bronze Star. At his inauguration in 1960, President John F. Kennedy, he spoke in the strongest terms regarding the importance of defending freedom around the world. And I quote, "We shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty." The torch representing liberty and freedom must continue to be passed from one generation to another. Those of us who are now living have a sacred duty and a responsibility to represent all those who made the supreme sacrifice for the survival of our democracy. We must not disappoint them. May they rest in peace. Thank you.
I agree with everything you've said, of course, except that perhaps the comment where you thought you might not have actually earned this. Ladies and gentlemen, there are few people in this city who have done more to earn our respect. Air Jordan, on behalf of the USS San Francisco Memorial Foundation, I'd like to offer you this Lifetime Civic Achievement Award, our first and well-earned. And it is my great pleasure to introduce to you today Consul General of Australia, Christopher Oldfield, to offer our keynote address.
Thank you, John, and thank you so much for the invitation today. I feel quite humbled to be here. So the First World War came and impacted Australia, New Zealand particularly, and Australia and New Zealand really forged the first bounds of nationhood in those days. La Hermelle in northern France was a small village, not of great consequence, but it formed part of a bulge in the Western Front that the Allied commanders wanted removed. Monash was a very good planner, and the aim was to take La Hermelle in 87 minutes. It took him 93 minutes. When they took La Hermelle, they couldn't find an Australian flag to fly over the village, so the British offered a flag. The Australians rejected that, and legend has it that an American flag flew over La Hermelle on behalf of the Australians and their new mates. But the important thing about the Battle of La Hermelle is that it started a continuous 100-year involvement of Australian troops fighting alongside Americans. We are the only country in the world that has done that for 100 years in every major conflict. In 1942 there was the Battle of the Coral Sea that was commemorated last year, where the American naval fleet effectively put itself between the enemy and the Australian coast. It is quite clear that without the US Navy involvement, the issues that Australia would have had with a blockade or a possible invasion would have been immense. Australians have never ever forgotten the sacrifice of the Americans at the Battle of Coral Sea. Following Coral Sea, of course, we had the battles of the Solomon, the Guadalcanal, and Australians were involved in the land battles there leading up to the naval battle that we're here to commemorate today. So I think the links between our two countries have been forged in blood, but are now reflected in friendship. We are eternally grateful to the United States for the defence of our nation, for the friendship and for the sacrifice. Australians are loyal mates, and we've had a mateship with Americans for 100 years, and we intend to continue that based on our belief in common values. It's the common values that really tie our two countries together. And I think that is what we're here today to say thank you for. Thank you very much.
To introduce the 2018 Chair of Honor, I want to bring up a man who served on the USS San Francisco through the entirety of the Second World War, Chief Johnny Johnson.
Welcome, sailors. I take my hat off to you, and Admiral, Captain Callahan, welcomed me aboard, sailor. He used that word, sailor. I thought that was nice. So we have one special man today who's a special sailor, and he's been with us for many, many years, constantly making the history of the USS San Francisco and the sailors here with us to save America. His name is Captain Stanley Alexson. I'll turn the podium over to him. I put my hat back on, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Chief. John, Consul General, all you other important folks. This reminds me of something that happened, well, say 100 years ago, back in Madison Square Garden. Enrico Caruso, who was the greatest tenor ever, even Pavarotti said he was better than him. He sang, and Al Jolson came out afterwards, and he said, "You ain't heard nothing yet." That got their attention. Well, actually, you really haven't.
For our roll call ceremony and our wreath laying, I bring up Captain Michelle Lockwood to read the names, Lieutenant Commander Art Curtis to ring the bell.
Carlson, Cates, Chattel. Chrisman, Cronister, Crowder, Cummings, Curtis.
Armed Forces of Australia.
bless those here today, especially the family members, the loved ones, and fellow comrades of our departed brothers and sisters. And bless the members of our armed forces. Please provide them with courage to face each day, that you may continue to give them your unending love. This Memorial Day and every day, we pray for our nation's prisoners of war, for those missing in action, and pray someday we will their faith.
This last moment, I will just ask that the colors be retired.